Today's project, rabbit fencing. I am getting some posts in the ground. You can see I got one side done. I'm gonna do the other side, and then I'm gonna be putting up the fencing, and we'll see how that goes, and I will share with you the results, good or bad, once I get it up and going. All right. If you're in a climate like mine here in Portland, Oregon, now is the time to plant your pepper seeds. I planted mine in 6 cell trays, and if you followed my prior videos, you know I'm overwintering pepper plants from prior years. But I plant new starts each year as well. I usually get my seeds of peppers from Botanical Interest because they have a pretty good selection. So I thought I would share with you all a list of the peppers that I am planting, which I've had prior experience with already. The first is the early jalapeno. This has been a reliable producer of chili peppers that I've grown for many years. The next one is Jalafuego jalapeno, and this is one that I grew last year. It promised to grow bigger peppers, which I wasn't a good judge of because I didn't pay too much attention about the relative size. But it did seem to be a bit more prolific, so I am growing it again this year. Then there's the Jimmy Nardello sweet pepper. I've grown this one for a few years, and I really enjoyed eating it fresh in the garden. It's a sweet, elongated red pepper, and I'm growing more of those this year. The Santaka chili has been a reliable, prolific producer of about 1-inch chili peppers for me. They point upward to the sky in little clusters, and I think the plant is quite decorative as well. Now, the Serrano pepper is one that I would say has been moderately prolific for me. It's not as reliable as the Santaka or the jalapeno, but I am giving it another shot this year. The sweet purple beauty, I always get something from it. I get little bell peppers, and they are purple, but I don't know if it's the variety or just the way I'm growing them. They always seem to be smaller than you would think. So I don't know if that's just the way they're supposed to be. So I'm also planting a bunch of seeds for new peppers that I haven't grown before. So here's a list of those. The Sweet Bell Blend. This is just another type of bell pepper that I'm planting from seed this year beside the sweet purple. It appears to be a generic mix of different colors, so I'm hoping to have some fun with that. The New Mex Lemon Spice Jalapeno. This is a yellow jalapeno, so I'm excited to see how that comes out. Just the way it'll look in the garden, I think will be awesome. The Padron chili. This is the chili. This is a different kind of chili pepper for me to try. And then the Anaheim New Mex Joe E. Parker. My dad used to grow big Anaheim peppers in his gardens, and they were pretty prolific from what I can remember. So I'm hoping I can achieve the same results in my garden. And finally, the red and yellow blend Biquinho Chile peppers. These are like these little peppers that you might see marinated in jars that are used on salads and things of that nature. So I think another one that would look cool in the garden as well as hopefully be good to eat. So that's I'm gonna give that one a try. So that's my list of peppers for this year that are new. I of course have the ones that are overwintered from last year as well, which include some shishitos and some Thai chili peppers and some cayennes and some habanana peppers, things that I had overwintered from last year and hopefully will survive, and so I'll have quite the variety coming into this year. All right, thanks y'all. So unwinding this chicken wire was a little bit of a bear. Ultimately, I used some snippers to like cut around a little bit, hoping I wasn't cutting into the fence itself. And now I've got it unwound, and what I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to kind of fold up 6 inches from the edge of it, and then put the fence in place and then unfold the 6 inches so that it's kind of at the bottom. So it'll go into kind of the trench area, and I can maybe put dirt over that or whatever, just to kind of keep that in place and make it so the rabbits can't kind of like push their way underneath. My understanding is rabbits don't dig, so it's not, or at least the kind of rabbits that we're dealing with wouldn't dig, but they might kind of force their way underneath if there was a gap in the fence underneath there. So that's what I'm trying to avoid. Well, I'm not sure what exactly I was expecting, but this isn't turning out exactly as I had hoped. Just the overall look. I'll probably just go with it this season and then see if I like it. If I come up with something different that I like the look of better, You know, maybe I want something more formal, like a 2-foot high little picket fence or something that is spaced in a way that keeps the rabbits out, or something that looks nicer. But in any case, this will just have to do for the season. Well, my energy reserves are down for the day. I got one section of the fence up, and I'm working on another section of the fence, and now that I've done one section, I kind of have a path to do it, so I think the rest of it will go smoother. But it's always remarkable to me, you know, there's a beautiful day like this, that I can only make so much use of it because I just don't, I'm not carrying enough energy to like just keep going and going the whole day long on this kind of physical work. And you know, it puts things in perspective, right? Because a lot of times we complain about the weather, oh, it's raining, or oh, it's too cold, or whatever, and maybe there's only 1 or 2 hours where it's dry. But the reality is that when it is dry, there's really only 1 or 2 hours, well, more than that, maybe more like between 2 to 4 hours, that I can keep going anyway. So, you know, having, even on a rainy day, is still often a good gardening day, because if there's 2 to 3 hours kind of interspersed there where I can get outside and do some stuff, you know, that's all I would be able to handle anyway as a practical matter. So those are, I guess, some meditations on, you know, when you think about how much you're putting into the garden in terms of time and energy. I do think, like, working on seeds is not as difficult, kind of standing around and playing with the seeds a little bit. So I'm going to go sit down for a little bit, rest for a little bit, and then maybe work on some seeds. So all in, I'll probably get in a good 5-6 hours today when I add the kind of working on seeds in there. But just kind of wanted to share some of how my typical day actually goes in the garden. It's not all governed by the weather or what can be done with the ground. A lot of it is governed by my own energy. And hey there, I am back to planting the larkspur. I think a couple videos ago, or a few videos ago, I probably told you about the fact that I was putting larkspur seeds in the fridge. I did that. I thought I was only going to do it for 1 week, but I got busy with things, and so I did it for 2 weeks. So it's had a nice, good chill period, and now I am planting it in these 6-cell trays. I guess the one challenge that I still have on this, though, is that it looks like it prefers to be germinated in temperatures that are around 55 degrees or less than 55 degrees. But I presume it doesn't really want to be germinating in temperatures that are like 35 degrees. And therein lies my problem, because I've got both extremes. Here in the basement nursery, it stays about the same temperature as the house, and so it's anywhere from 69 to 71 degrees in this basement nursery, the air temperature anyway. Now that doesn't mean that the soil temperature in the trays is the same. It could be a little bit less, but I suspect the soil temperature in these trays and the soil and what I have in the basement nursery is above 55, so that might mean that germination in the basement nursery is not great. I can also put them in the greenhouse, but the problem there is that the nighttime temperatures right now here in Portland are still getting down to the low to mid 30s. So, you know, what am I to do? I don't really have a perfect 55 degree location for germinating these larkspur seeds. So I'm going to do both. I've put one of the trays of larkspur already out in the greenhouse, and then I'm making one here that I'm going to be putting under the lights here, and so I'll have both, and we'll see which one, if any, actually germinates for me. When I've tried to plant larkspur in the past, I have not been successful, so I'm taking these extra measures and crossing my fingers they'll be enough. They may not be enough, in which case maybe I do have to figure out, if I really want to grow larkspur, I may have to figure out something more extreme, a setup that is just for the larkspur. Or maybe I'll have some other seeds that need similar conditions. Maybe do something in the garage, for example, separate from here and separate from the greenhouse. But I don't, obviously, as you can see, I've got a lot going on here, a lot growing on here. So I don't want to take that much extra time or extra effort for just a particular seed. I'm not at the level where I care that much about one particular flower type to go to all that effort on that one yet. But we'll maybe in the future if this doesn't work out. So I'll keep you posted on what's happening with the larkspur around here. Well, the rabbit fence project is going to carry over to another weekend. Just more there to do than I had the energy to do in one weekend here. But one of the things that I think is nice about it is, as I'm looking out, I thought for a minute in working on it that maybe I wasn't going to like the look. But when I stand away from it, like back here, it kind of disappears a little bit into the landscape. I mean, not quite, you can definitely see it, but I kind of like the fact that it's almost invisible there. That's kind of cool. And yeah, I think it'll be good, at least for this season, and then I can kind of see if it grows on me in terms of its overall look. So for now, I've got 3 sides of it done, and I still got a couple more sides, and then finishing touches like maybe burying the bottom 4 to 6 inches and that kind of thing. And so that's what I'll be working on next weekend. Well, here are some of the seeds that I'm planting this week. From the herb family, I'm planting dill and stevia. In case you're uninitiated, stevia is the sweet leaf herb, like a sugar substitute. I love it, but it's been very hard to grow from seed. I usually buy start plants, but I've tried to grow seed in the last year, and I'm trying it again this year. I get a few seeds in the packet, and they don't germinate that easily, so this is going to be a hard one. Stay tuned for more. Among the flowers, I've got larkspur, carnations, stock, violas, status, pansy, and salpiglossis. Salpiglossis is a beautiful metallic sheen type flower that grows with a habitat kind of like pansies. At least that's what it looks like to me. And I hope to show you more of that in this year's garden.